All right, 60 burpees down. I can barely breathe. I just did 3. So great. I can't wait to do this workout. Thank you guys for programming that. Beautiful stuff. Overhead squatting, the most athletic squat you can possibly do, really, and it really showcases a lot of stuff. If you have tight hips, you're not going to get away with it. If you have tight shoulders, you're not going to get away with it. If you have some sort of dysfunction and there's some unhealthy portion of your body that's not working with you, this is going to be your X factor for sure. Doesn't matter if you have a great engine, this is going to collapse on you quickly. So how do we prep for this? We need the hips moving. So first thing you're going to think about is, hey, can I get into that little pancake stretch or that little straddle stretch? Do some sit-ups, really rip that stuff apart. We talked about this several times. All we're doing here is ungluing our business there. That's once again quoting Kelly Starrett. For some reason that guy is popular, I don't even know why. Squatting, make sure that we have a nice squat. Can we get our arms over our head? We feel comfortable in that position. What's going on with the hips? Open up the hips. Come up with something creative. We talked about 100 ways of warming up now, so you got something, maybe some leg swings, straddles, some splits, just rolling in and out of it, not holding it for too long. Now here comes the big one, shoulders. So what do we need to do? We're gonna be in an overhead position. We have to be nice and active. So that maybe could be, you know, let's get some bridge ups, really get those shoulders moving, get that nice positioning. But here's the big one. When we are going for fairly high volume, 30 reps after 60 burpees, that's definitely high volume. At semi-heavy weight, 120, where you're nice and fatigued, your shoulder positioning is gonna be really important. So something we talk about a lot is, can we create that torque? Can we create external rotation overhead to wind that shoulder up and have a nice supported position? So in gymnastics, there's something we talk about a lot, especially when we're front tumbling, which is when I do a handstand, can I come into that handstand and block? Meaning, can I have a very active shoulder that can push me off the ground and allow me to land again on my feet or on my hands? So what we're seeing is hands come down, shoulders push you out, and you get a nice block. It looks something like this. All I'm gonna do is step block, with a little bit of pop on that business. And all we're seeing there is, if you look at me from here, is the shoulders being active, hands hitting, and because I'm so active in the shoulder, I have a little room to push, and that works as like a little spring, and it pushes me out. So same thing is gonna happen when I'm doing my overhead squatting. If you guys come on over here, what we're gonna talk about is the following. Can I get into a handstand position and start working some shoulder elevation here? So I go into my handstand, I'm hanging here. If you can look at my neck, you'll see that my neck is long. All I want to see is this: shoulder active, come down, shoulder active, come down, shoulder active, come down. That shoulder elevation is what's going to give you some advantage when we get into the bar, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a second. So all that blocking business, or that shoulder elevation with a lot of external rotation, which we talk about all the time, can be applied to the bar. So we have a barbell right here, not a lot of weight. Oh, that's heavy. So what we're looking for is a shoulder active up into my ear. Can I get into my nice squat stance? Can I come down to that bottom position? And when I'm at that bottom position, what happens is I can't get enough elevation there. So on the way out of the hole, that's where I want to think, shove my shoulders up into my ears. I come down. I can't get elevation at the bottom. I'm only resisting depression. This is something I got from Diane Fu. I really like that concept. Shove your shoulders up in the ears, and that will just help you stand up a little better. And you'll feel that as you press your shoulder up in the ear, it gets more stable, it immediately externally rotates, and allows you to stand up better. So cameraman and man with a plan, Wyatt, that you guys don't see, but he's the one that makes a ton of the stuff on Gymnastics Squad happen. He's the one that updates, makes the blogs happen, helps me with everything to just make sure that you get the information on a daily basis. He just told me right now that when he was watching me squat, overhead squat, he didn't see much stuff going on the shoulder, especially when I was squatting. And that's exactly right. When we get into an overhead position and we actually go a little wider, we can't really see a lot of that stuff, especially when we're holding load. So that's exactly the concept that our coach, Olympic weightlifting coach, Diane Fu at San Francisco CrossFit talks about. When I'm in an overhead position and I'm squatting, I can't really show a lot of elevation. All I'm doing is resisting depression. And that's a genius concept because I'm in this corner where I'm externally rotated a little wider. I can't see a lot of movement. All I'm seeing is blocking and locking. So if you watch me from the bottom here, or you get a little bit lower angle, what I'm gonna try to do is exaggerate that for you, where my shoulder is pretty much down, but I'm resisting that depression. And on the way up, all I'm gonna do is shove my shoulders up into my ears, and that's what stands me up. I'm at the bottom, my shoulders are resisting depression. You can see my neck right now. When I stand, shove my shoulders up into my ears, that gives me a way more stable positioning, and it actually gets me fast and strong out of the hole. One last thing about the overhead squatting is that we're not Olympic weightlifting, we're just overhead squatting. So depending on how good you are in your shoulder positions, if you're a gymnast and you have good shoulder mobility and you have a good overhead, you actually want to go a little bit narrower. If you're an Olympic weightlifter and you're used to going wide, or you don't have very good shoulder positioning, you're gonna have to work in this corner. And that's a key thing to think about. Can I work in this corner and be strong, or can I be more efficient overhead where I can actually project a pole or a little pillar that goes straight into my shoulder, lines up with my hip and my heels, and now I have more in it. All I'm talking about is this. More Olympic weightlifter style is wider, gymnast style is here. Can I actually handle that type of overhead squat? Do I feel comfortable with that? What is my ideal situation where I feel like I have a stronger lockout, stronger position? What corner of that shoulder is stronger for me? So that's something to address during warm-up, and can I actually achieve that position under this kind of metabolic stress?